Good morning. Welcome back to Get Lost Traveling. My name's David, and if you're new here, I do travel videos. Today is April 20th, Monday, and it's about early in the morning. And what I'm doing is I am actually here at Civic Center, which is the beginning of the 49 Mile Scenic Drive in San Francisco. Okay, like I said, where we're starting right now is actually Golden Gate Park, and I'm just pulling out from where I'm parking right now. And then the first is a turn to the left, and right in front of you is City Hall. This area is Civic Center. Also in this area is the California State offices. We also have the Opera here, and we'll be driving past a few points of interest just around this corner. We'll be kind of making a huge turn, huge circle actually, around this whole little plaza here. And so if you do go straight ahead, you will be hitting Market Street, but we will be also making an immediate turn on the next block, left turn, and then on your left hand side is the Bill Graham Auditorium. A lot of concerts here, but if you grew up in the city in the 80s, 90s, maybe even now, most likely during some point in your high school career, your high school experience, you would have been at the Bill Graham Auditorium going through what they call career day, which is another word for what do you want to do when you grow up? Where do you want to go for college? And then we're driving right up. We're also making another left turn here, and right in front of us on the left hand side is the main library. It's the San Francisco Main Public Library. This is not the original location. It's actually a rebuilt just specifically for that. The original sits I forgot where it sits. It might be where the Asian Art Museum is currently. And we're gonna go down, which is right across the street from where its current location is, which is right over there. So just to let you know, though, currently with the shelter-in-place order, City Hall, this whole area is actually closed down, and you're not supposed to be like walking around or anything like that. But you know, there's still, I mean, well, actually, maybe they're not. I mean, people are walking around. You see people running and walking their dogs and stuff like that too. But anyways, here is the Asian Art Museum, and that thing is huge. It is gigantic. There's so much to see in there. I mean, I've been in there for like 4 hours, and I don't think I saw even like 2/3 of the museum. And so now we're just gonna go keep going straight up, and at some point we're gonna make a turn somewhere. But this is, we're leaving the Civic Center area, and we're heading into the Tenderloin area. They call this right now Little Saigon, But the reality is this is kind of a really dilapidated place. The tenderloin actually has a few origin stories for its name. One of them, I mean, it goes anywhere from being the underbelly of the city to tenderloin, meaning loins of prostitutes, to also, what's the other thing? Corrupt cops. And that's always a problem in the city, or anywhere, I think, even today. This is the tenderloins. This is kind of the center of the tenderloins, and actually is actually where I grew up. From a lot of immigrants here, a lot of refugees back in the 80s and 90s. Also a lot of boat people from the Vietnam War who left Vietnam as refugees and ended up in California, throughout the US, but if they were in the Bay Area, they probably lived in this area. And then we're gonna make a turn to the left, and then we're gonna be leaving the Tenderloin area and heading towards the Japantown area. The Japantown area is actually an addition to the 49-mile Scenic Drive, and it was added because they wanted people to drive past the businesses as well as the Japantown Peace Center, which we'll be getting close to in a little bit. We'll see how long it takes there, but there's some pretty interesting things to see before we get there. But you probably want to pay extra attention to your left-hand side, because there's going to be a very interesting church. Okay, so we're pulling up to Golf, and on your left-hand side is something called the... I actually don't even know the name of the church, but if I do have a photo of the church, I'll throw it up on the corner. But a lot of people call it something like the Holy Order of the Maytag washing machine or something like that, because the top looks like a freaking agitator for a Maytag washing machine. And we are actually in Japantown right now, and we'll be making a turn up at Webster. You'll probably be seeing a lot of road work as we drive along this scenic. As we drive along, you'll probably be seeing a lot of construction work on the road, and it looks like in the recent weeks, the city has actually stepped up a lot of maintenance on the roads because the roads are currently kind of empty. It's also a good way to stimulate the economy by putting people to work on stuff. So on your right hand side is the Japantown Peace Center. There's a pagoda. It looks like a pagoda. It's some kind of a tower or something. I'll probably put a name of what it is on the bottom. But that's basically what it is here. There used to be a bowling alley close by here, and that was really fun to go to. But I'm not sure if that's still around anymore. But the Japanese food here is excellent. So if you ever want to get some Japanese food in the city, Japantown's really good. There's other places actually that are pretty good as well. You can pretty much get good food anywhere in San Francisco though. That's just how it is. And now we're turning onto Webster, and then there's an immediate turn. And also, if you notice, there's blue signs. Those blue arrow signs are actually replacements for old 49 Mile Scenic Drive. Oh, people waiting to get to the grocery stores. Anyways, getting back to that whole story. So yeah, once in a while you'll see like signs for the 49 Mile Scenic Drive. This is Japantown. Of course, it's completely empty right now. Normally today, there's just a lot of people. So with the sign, you're gonna see like some of them that just have a blue arrow, blue sign with a white arrow, and some of them you'll see the actual full 49 Mile Scenic Drive sign. The reason why those arrows exist is because people stole it from, people stole these signs for novelty reasons whatsoever. And they just replace it with those arrows and not the complete signs. They're really, a lot of people like to take those signs because they're kind of, I don't want to say it, but people collect these things, you know? So, but don't steal these signs. Don't be a dick. And so now we are actually heading towards the Union Square area. We're gonna pass by Union Square. Looks like this route's taking us, and then we're gonna turn into Chinatown on Grant. Just as a reminder, this is a Monday, okay? And right now it's it's 10:20. We've been driving around for maybe about 15 minutes so far. And normally Post is a very, very busy street. There's just not a lot of people around. on Van Ness right now. And Van Ness is actually one of the major roads in the city, streets in the city. I think it's like probably about a 6 or 8 lane street. We just passed by Polk right now, and Polk is actually where we started. It's the street that City Hall is located on. And this is kind of the outer skirts of the Tenderloin right now. We're kind of going back into that area again. And as you can probably see, some places actually are boarded up because of the lockdown in San Francisco. Pretty close to Union Square at this point. I think we're about a block or 2 off. Yeah, we're about 2 blocks away from there. As we're pulling up, Union Square is just right there. We're pulling up on there right now. Union Square. Last time I was here, about a month ago, Union Square was still open. There was people skateboarding and things like that, and a lot of people just walking through. Today, it's completely shut down. There's nobody there. I don't see anybody skateboarding. But Union Square is actually kind of a lot of commercial retail spaces. Apple is here, Macy's, Neiman Marcus. We have Gucci that is actually, yeah, Gucci is open, is here. We have Nike store. We have a lot of high-end, very, very shopping oriented. It's also a very touristy place. A lot of people like to come here. A lot of tourists like to come here. And since we don't have any tourism in the city these days, this place is pretty much empty. And now we are crossing Stockton Street. And then the next turn that we're going to be taking is going to be onto Grant, right over here. And it's going to take us onto the China Gate, which is the entrance into Chinatown. But actually, I'm gonna have to change my batteries real quickly. So we're gonna pull in here. I'm gonna switch up my batteries. So where we left off was we were heading towards the Golden Gate, Chinatown Gate, and that's also a attraction, a tourist attraction, I mean. And again, construction work is what you usually run into these days when you're driving around. You don't run into tourists, you run into construction works. workers, which is good, which is really good because the streets really do need a lot of fixing up. This is Chinatown Gate, and this is Grant Street, Chinatown, which is where all the tourists are located at. Whoever is visiting Chinatown these days, but these days Chinatown is very empty to tourists because there's none. And as you can see, most of the stores are boarded up or closed. They're all boarded up or closed actually. And normally the crowds walking down the streets are pretty much shoulder to shoulder almost. There are people that need to get onto this, walk into the streets to get out of it. Now we're gonna go up California, which is the next leg of this drive. And California here, we're actually driving on some cable car tracks. There's a cable car that runs up and down California. And yes, you are allowed to drive on the cable car tracks. It's not illegal to drive on it. It's illegal to run in front of it though. You don't want to do that. So now we are in Nob Hill. This is a very swank, very high-end part of town. A lot of hotels here. Top of the Mark is here. The Fairmont Hotel is here. It's a very historic place, very high-end. The condos around here are pretty damn expensive, let's just say that. And then there's another sign, as well as another arrow on Tyler, and we are turning onto, this is the St. Grace Cathedral on your right. And we just turned onto there, and I'm gonna fix my camera because my white balance is all off. Okay, so we're back up. I hope it looks better now. And we just passed Grace Cathedral, and we are heading, we're gonna be heading close to, I think, Chinatown next. Yeah, I think we're heading to Chinatown next. Like I said, I've never really done this part of the, there's certain parts of the drive that I've done before, because you're driving on the streets, you're gonna see the signs and stuff like that. But there are definitely places like this where I haven't driven before, and I'm not sure if I know precisely the direction to take. And I think we're heading into the Chinatown area right now. And then on your this building here, that is the, on your left hand side, that is the cable car museum, and I think they're closed right now. Of course they're closed right now. onto Powell Street, where we're gonna be making a right turn, and then we're gonna be making a immediate left turn and heading into Chinatown. And there's a lot of people waiting for bus here right now. Everybody's covered up. Oh my gosh. Oh, huh? These people aren't waiting for the bus. They're actually waiting for a store to open. It goes all the way down to the end over there. Oh my gosh, it's crazy. Wow. Is it a bus? Are they waiting for the bus? I don't know. This is weird. Anyways, back on the tour. Now we're gonna go down Clay. Wow. There's very interesting dynamics that's happening right now in the city. Now we're coming down. So now we're coming down this. They're waiting to get into the center or something like that. I have no idea what's going on here. There's just a bunch of people waiting in line. But anyways, we are at Stockton and Clay, which is pretty much the beginning of Chinatown. And this is Chinatown. This is actually where the Chinese people that live in the city live, or where they come shopping if they want to really go to where the locals go to Chinatown. This is it. And there's also a video that I did of that. Should be having a card right now up there for you if you want to see that. And so now we're heading down here, and the next location that we're going to be turning onto is a left onto Kearny. So this is Chinatown still. We just passed Grant. And if you're wondering why I'm just zigzagging through these places, that's just how this scenic drive works. It just zigzags throughout the city. So this is Kearny, and we're making the turn onto here. Financial district is just kind of straight in front, and this is heading towards we're headed towards Columbus, which will bring us into North Beach. We're heading there right now. Again, Kearny is one of the major little strips within the city. Connects downtown to Chinatown, and then connects directly to North Beach, which is kind of like a little Italy. So we're turning on to Columbus right now. And just down Columbus, on the next block, on the right corner is the Condor. The Condor is a pretty iconic place. It actually is a topless bar, strip joint, and it's probably most notorious for having had two people that had sex on their stage, or performance stage. It used to be a live sex show. Actually ended up getting crushed, and one of them died, so it was very unfortunate. Anyways, almost missed my turn, and this is actually Grant. We're going up Grant again, and we are basically in North Beach right now, and this is actually the residential area in North Beach. There's a lot of flats on top of businesses, and these are these bars and restaurants and eateries are pretty popular in town. So normally get a lot of people here, especially on the weekend nights. This whole block this whole street tends to be very impacted. And then the next turn will be on Lombard, which is coming up in a little bit. Court Tower is actually on our right hand side, and it goes up a pretty modest hill, pretty steep hill actually. We're not on Lombard yet. Lombard's coming up soon. And of course, right now, Court Tower is closed because of the shutdown. But the parking is open. You can actually drive up there and see things. You just cannot go up the tower and see all the beautiful views from that. And this is Lombard Street, and if you look all the way up there, that's actually the crookedest street. And again, if you want to see me go down it during this zombie apocalypse, there is a card that probably just appeared. On your left hand side is North Beach Park. I think North Beach Park. They might have changed the name. I don't know. I know it by North Beach Park. And there's a pool in there, and they used to require swimming for students to graduate or get promoted to the next grade in high school, and you had to pass that before. And we just turned onto Mason, and now we're headed towards Fisherman's Wharf. Next turn we're gonna be doing is on Jefferson. And I used to go to school close to here, actually just about 2 blocks away on our right hand side. Francisco Middle School. Hated that school. Just kidding. I think everybody hated their middle school experience. I certainly did. It wasn't the most fun I had in life, but high school was much better. Anyways, keep going. Oh gosh, they closed down the rest of the road onto Jefferson, so I got to turn onto the beach right now. And that would have been right onto the driving along the main strip for Fisherman's Wharf. Let me see if there's any way for me to get on it again. I think I might be able to do it here. But like I said, they've really closed down a lot of roads and stuff like that due to maintenance. And yeah, looks like this one's also closed down. Yeah, they closed down that main strip. I think I might have some video clips of that. If I do, I'll throw it up on the corner right now. But if I don't, then that really sucks. Anyways, let's turn on to the road again, because this part's open, and so I at least can get through to see a part of it. So this is the main strip for Fisherman's Wharf. So where a lot of people walk around. A lot of restaurants, seafood restaurants, a lot of Ripley's, believe it or not, here. The Musée Mécanique is also here. That's the arcade museum. It's really fun. You should check it out if you ever come to this area. And of course, it's completely empty. It's so empty. More than what I've seen in the past during this time. But I think the addition of the requiring mask has really confused a lot of people, in my opinion. So I think a lot of people are kind of just laying low because they don't want to get $1,000 fine, you know? Okay, so we are making a turn to the left onto here. And this is actually towards the end of Fisherman's Wharf. This is the San Francisco Maritime National Park area. It's also where it's also where the aquatic center is located. And this is also the turning point over here. We just passed the turning point for the cable car, the Powell and Haight cable car. And this, yeah. The cannery, no, not the cannery. We passed the cannery already. Actually, the Ghirardelli Square is on the left-hand side. And that's where Ghirardelli Square originated. That's where their corporate office used to be. But they are no longer operating out of here. They are owned by Nestle, right? Yeah, they're owned by Nestle. Or Lindt. I don't know. I think Nestle and Lindt are the same company. Okay, Aquatic Park is here. There's also a Maritime Museum as well. It's a nice place to visit if you like boats. And then we're making a turn onto Polk again. We're back on Polk Street. And then we're gonna make a quick turn onto Bay, which is gonna take us into the Marina District. The Marina District, as you if you know, this is Bay, yeah. No, this is not Bay. I'm wrong. No, this is Bay. What the hell am I thinking? I am turning on here. They changed the route. The route's not the same. Okay, because it doesn't take you normally onto Van Ness. It takes you onto Bay and you turn on Bay. This is coming up on Bay. And Galileo High School is to your left. When I was growing up here, that was the worst school possibly that you can go. I think maybe second. Wilson was probably up there with it. But now it's some kind of like STEM centered high school, which is really good. They really done well for themselves. This is the marina, and back in during the 1989 earthquake, this was burning because this is built on landfill. Most of this district here, this neighborhood, is built on landfill. And it got its landfill from the trash that people were throwing into it while the city was growing during the gold rush era and stuff like that. And we have Fort Mason on the left-hand side. Also has a lot of park area. Used to be a military base, army base, but now it's public space. And there's a lot of people exercising. It's still open, Fort Mason. I think the parking is closed though. And then now we're turning on to Marina. Laguna Street. This is Laguna, and then we're gonna immediately turn on to, not North Point, Marina, next block. And then we're gonna go down the Marina Greens, and I'm just wondering if there's a lot of people. I got a feeling there might be a lot of people because there's just a lot of people that like going out. But it is a Monday, so there could be people working from home. And so it's actually, it's not as bad as I thought. I came here once during the weekend. I drove by here once during the weekend during the shutdown. And it was crazy. There were so many people around, but today it's actually very good. Feel very safe right now. Normally during this route over here, this section of the drive, it takes you into a parking lot that has a pretty good view of the Golden Gate Bridge from afar. But there's not really much to it. But it is a really, really good open space. It's very little people. And as you can see, the sign points you to turn into this parking lot. Parking lot is closed. I know that for sure the parking lot is closed, because the city closed the parking lot because there were just way too many people here. Yeah, last time I was here, there were so many people strewn all over the grassy area. It was really kind of uncomfortable watching. Not that I don't want people out, it's just that I think you have a certain responsibility to make other people feel comfortable around you as well, and just being in situations like that doesn't help other people feel comfortable about where they are. But yes, definitely a lot less people today than there were last week when I drove by. But as you can see, people are actually observing, distancing. The fire department's here, EMT's here. So it's pretty interesting that everybody's here. There's a lot of parking enforcement people here. Next area we're gonna get into is the Palace of Fine Arts. And that's gonna be, the next few turns will take us there. But we're headed towards Scott right now, and we're supposed to make a left-hand turn at Scott. That also, the turn onto Scott is actually what takes you out of the parking lot as well. I think I missed it. I think I missed Scott. It was probably a couple of blocks back. Yeah, this is Baker. I'm way off. So we'll just take this route, and we're gonna meet up on Beach because that's where we should have turned back then. But here, actually, the Palace of Fine Arts is actually just right on the right-hand side. We're just pulling up the side of it. And I also have a video, so if you want to see that one, click on the corner, the card on the corner, and it should take you there. But yeah, again, a lot less people today than I saw in previous days. The first time I was here, and I wanted to, just show how deserted the places were and stuff. It wasn't that deserted. It really wasn't. And then we're turning onto Bay at this point. And our the next place we're heading to is the Presidio. So we're headed to the entrance to the Presidio right now. And this is Broderick, where we're going to be making a right-hand turn. And then now we're making a turn onto Chestnut. And then it's straight up to to the entrance. Lombard takes you to the entrance. And then you can see the sign again. Left turn onto Lion. And then a quick right onto Lombard and into the Embarcadero. And the Embarcadero is on the right hand side. And we're gonna go right into it now. Presidio. It's open. I think all the parking is still open here too. It's a huge public space that used to belong to the army. And I think even before the establishment of San Francisco as a city, the Presidio was already here. So it's a pretty iconic place. Hopefully I don't get lost in here. But we're headed to the old post hospital. And then I think the first turn is on Funston Avenue. Let's find Funston. Right now there's people that live in this area, but for the most part it's a huge public air space. It's a park. Boulevard. Okay, so I'm gonna turn on to Lincoln because I can't see any signs for that. This is a huge public park here. It's a beautiful place though. It's absolutely beautiful. And not a lot of people here today. I'm just kind of curious how the weekend is here though, because it tends to be pretty packed on the weekends normally. But today there's just not a lot of people around at all. Just very little. Okay, I kind of got lost a little bit, but I'm back on Montgomery, and it says I have to turn onto here, I think. Yeah, there's just not a lot of signs showing the direction in the Presidio. I've tried to find my way through here before because it just gets so confusing, and I really had a hard time last time too, because I just couldn't find any signs. But we're heading past the National Cemetery right now, and this is San Francisco National Cemetery, It's on the left-hand side, and as you can see on the right directly in front of you is the Golden Gate Bridge. I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of just winging this right now. We should be hitting Lincoln in a little bit. I'm back on the track here. I see a sign, and this is actually Fort Point here, and Fort Point is currently completely shut down, so you can't drive through right now. It's actually a really good view of the San Francisco Bay Bridge, really up close. Excellent photo opportunities. Again, if I have a photo, I'll plop it up there on the corner so you can see how it looks. Now we're headed towards Crissy Fields area, and again, this is another vista point as well. It's completely closed down. I think for the most part, the San Francisco, in San Francisco, I think the Golden Gate Park, most of the places that is operated by Golden Gate Park is actually closed to public. We're going to be hitting the Land's End, Baker Beach area soon. Actually, Baker Beach and then Land's End. We just passed Crissy Field because that was all part of Crissy Field, those closed out places. All the overlooks and things like that to the Golden Gate Bridge or to the coast has pretty much closed down. They just don't want people congregating. Yeah, it's just not that safe. And whether you believe all this stuff is happening or not, the most important thing is to make each other feel safe in these hard times. And so you kind of do what you need to do, even if you don't buy completely into, the shutdown or whatever the case may be. We still have to make each other feel comfortable and be nice to each other. It's just a really bad time to be fighting each other right now. And this is actually one of the most beautiful views of the coast. There's no parking that's required. If you walk here, you can easily see it. As you can probably see right now, it's just very, very beautiful coastline. And if you're curious, we're roughly about 15 minutes into this, 15 miles into this drive. It's quite a long drive. There's just a lot of stuff to see, and you're not really driving at like high speeds, so you're just kind of cruising through this. We're not at Baker's Beach yet, so. And just to let you know, Baker Beach is also a nude beach, so there's certain sections of the beach that you're most certainly going to see at least one person or two people nude bathing. But it tends to be like out of the way, so I mean, unless you're really looking for something like that and you want to see it, then you gotta walk quite a ways to see it into the beach, deep into the beach. But if you're just going to the beach and you don't want to see it, you're probably not gonna even notice that there's anybody nude there. But we just passed Baker Beach right now. Been there before, not as the nudist though. I don't think anyone want to see me that way. Now we're headed to Land's End. We're actually getting out of the Presidio right now and heading on to city streets now. Not sure why there's a carpool service for the Presidio right now, but I don't know. That's just me. It's a nice day out today though. It's a really, really nice day out. It's not overly hot, no overly cold, but I do need to park just real quickly because I need to change out the battery again. The area that we're actually heading into right now is actually the Seacliff area. Seacliff is actually one of the most expensive places to live in the city. These houses are absolutely amazing. They're amazing to gawk at, and I'm sure they're amazing to live inside. But just to be able to watch it, see it, and kind of drool at how freaking rich people are. Yeah, these houses are crazy beautiful. I'm sure there are homes in this area that are in the tens of millions. Huh, interesting. It's starting to rain. It's starting to sprinkle. That's a turn of the event, huh? It'd be pretty neat to be driving in the rain in the city. There would be even less people. It is starting to rain though. Ooh, I hope that doesn't affect the view. And then we are turning onto Point Lobos Avenue. Actually, this is Land's End. We're in Land's End right now. We're not at Point Lobos yet. This is still... We just kind of got out of the Seacliff area. But this is Land's End right now. And also, Land's End just beautiful. There's a hiking trail over here that you can take. There's great views of the Golden Gate Bridge to your north, west, something like that. Sunrise and is it sunset? Oh, sunrise. Sunrise is good here though. Sunset, not so good. No, actually sunset's good here. Sorry, my mistake. Okay, so now we are at the Legion of Honor. This is where a replica of the Thinker is located at. And the parking is closed. The museum's closed down. The gates are closed. You can take pictures. You just can't park. And there's actually people enforcing those no parking in these areas as well. So if you drive and you don't want to park, they're gonna stop you from parking. But you can ride your bike, you can hike. It's perfectly okay. One of the new things that's going on is that I think they're requiring masks right now in California, in the Bay Area at least. And one of the requirements in the Bay Area is that you wear it whenever you're on the public. But the thing is, you don't have to wear it while you're driving, nor do you have to wear it while you're exercising and walking or walking your dog or anything. Well, maybe walking your dog, they wouldn't want you to do that. But if you're exercising, it just doesn't make any sense to be wearing that. Also, just the pure vapors that develop and will soak the mask is actually not good for you, because it's just kind of a cesspool right there, right? Okay, so we're gonna turn onto Gary again. Remember, we just turned onto Gary from the Tenderloins, and now we're turning onto Gary, and we're past Japantown. We are actually in the outer Sunset area, no, outer Richmond area. And it's gonna take us to the coast of, it's gonna take us to the coast. And that's also where the Citro Bath is located at, and the Cliff House, and also Ocean Beach. It's also where you can see the Pacific Ocean, because the beach is the Pacific Ocean. pulling into Ocean Beach area where the Sutro Bath is. It's also part of the Sutro Bath is actually part of the Land's End Trail if you're hiking it. There you go. On the right hand side is the Sutro Bath. If you look right off the coast, there's Seal Rock there, and that's where the sea lions that are currently at Pier 39, that's where they used to be. They're no longer there anymore. They all moved to Pier 39. I think maybe there's just less predators there as well, because it's kind of in the bay, and over here it's out in the ocean. So a little bit more risky. So we just passed the Cliff House. The Cliff House is actually not the original. These are rebuilt. I think they were rebuilt a few times due to calamities and fires. And we are pulling down into Ocean Beach. Oh my gosh. Last time I drove here was a couple weeks ago, and this was packed. Ocean Beach was just packed. And it's not. And it's not even the fact that people were driving in from out of town. It was locals who were on the beach surfing. Yeah, there was just a lot of people. And normally the parking is always full unless it's like early in the morning or after sunset. But it's shut down because they don't want people out congregating, and that's exactly what people were doing a few weeks ago. And even with these barriers up for no parking, there was still a lot of people last time I drove by, just making it a really uncomfortable situation to be in, you know? I just hope they don't close down the Great Highway like they did last time. If not, then I'll have to take a detour route right next to it. But let's see how it goes. But I mean, it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's a little bit chilly though, because it's a bit of overcast right now. And on the left hand side is actually Golden Gate Park. And if you're curious, there's actually a couple of windmills in Golden Gate Park. A lot of people don't know there are windmills in San Francisco, but we do. We got 2 of them. And it is extremely chilly. Extremely chilly. Oh, they closed down the Great Highway. This is the Great Highway we're on right now, and it runs up and down Ocean Beach. And I think I just saw a thing that says that it's closed, so we gotta take a detour. It's just gonna be one street over. It's gonna be basically the same route, but they closed it down. You can ride it, you can walk it, you just can't drive it, that's all. And we're just gonna go down this road over here. It's called the Great Highway still, but this is the street name. The actual highway is next. Last time I was here, I had to drive down this way. I didn't come here to go to the beach or anything like that. I just came down because I was really kind of curious how many people were out still, even with the shelter in place and the parking area being closed. And there was just a lot of people. I mean, this whole street, I mean, there's empty spaces right now. This whole street was completely filled with cars and people changing out of their wetsuit after they surfed. But today is, like I said, not a lot of people. It's also Monday, just to clarify. The day I drove down was actually on a Sunday, and there was just a lot of people out. But on weekdays, not a lot. I swear though, the drive on the Great Highway itself is actually much better than what you're seeing right now. Although, I mean, this is kind of a nice drive, but it's definitely nothing like being able to see the coast as you're driving down. This area that we're in actually right now is the outer Sunset area. It's another neighborhood. There's an inner Sunset and then there's the outer Sunset. Outer Sunset is actually closer to the ocean. hopefully this turn brings us back onto the route, the correct route. There are definitely surfers right now. Yeah, it does take us right back onto the Great Highway. And right back on track. So we're gonna follow this. So this is the second half of the Great Highway, the end part. And actually, if you keep going down this road, you're gonna hit Daly City. Boulevard that we're on, and that'll take you pretty far down towards the end of the southern part of San Francisco city lines, and then make a turnaround and come back into the city again. But this is part of the Great Highway. Not a Great Highway, part of the end. I guess this is where I'm turning. And Fort Funston is actually right on the right hand side. And that's the parking's closed. Oh, they're even trying to limit the amount of parking you can do on the side of the road. Yeah, there's people walking with face covering, and you don't need to actually. They're not gonna fine you if you do that. Okay, so right now on the left-hand side is Lake Merced. There's a lot of people that ride their bike, walk, run around the lake. Pretty popular. There's not a lot of people here today. But also the lake's large enough where people can actually have a little bit of space in between. Lake Merritt Boulevard. making a turn, left turn onto Lake Merced, Lake Merritt in Oakland. So the next place we're headed towards is actually right back into the outer Sunset area, and then right back into the city and into Golden Gate Park. But close to here, we are actually going to drive past San Francisco State University. It's part of the Cal State system. Should be coming up to it in maybe about a minute or so, driving up. Should be on the right-hand side, so keep an eye out for that. So this is San Francisco State, should be on their campus should be on the right hand side right now. Also, on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side is also Lowell High School. Lowell High School is actually one of the top high schools in the country. You got to take a test to actually get in. It's also one of the first places that got closed down because of the zombie apocalypse. Be making a right-hand turn onto Sunset Boulevard shortly. Yep, this is it, Sunset Boulevard here. Just keep going straight. And we are on Sunset Boulevard, and we are headed towards Golden Gate Park. It should take a little bit to get there though, but it's pretty much a straight drive from this point on. And normally this strip of the road is highly crowded all the time. There's a lot of congestion here. But there's not really that much today. turn here. We're in Golden Gate Park right now. And this is Martin Luther King Jr. Drive that we're turning onto. Golden Gate Park is still open. There are certain areas where the parking is actually shut, but for the most part the park is open. And people are expected to observe social distancing. But I've actually heard that there's quite a lot of people at the park over the weekend. I don't think it's been like that today though, considering it is Monday. It's early in the morning still. Right now it's actually almost 12 o'clock. We've been driving for quite a while already. And we're about mile 30 something into here. So getting pretty close to that 49 mile mark. And this is also the trail here. So we're gonna head into here. Okay. Yeah. Turn onto Kennedy Drive. It's a right-hand turn. Ooh. On the left-hand side, if you're ever in the park, you can see bisons. There's actually bisons here. It's a gated off area, but there's bisons roaming, which is really kind of, it's pretty neat. You know what? I think one day I'm gonna do this 49 mile drive, but with points of interest to stop off and just take a look. It's really kind of interesting. I'm finding this drive to be pretty fun, actually. But I can certainly understand why people probably go a little bit batshit because of the fact that it is really, really trafficy. Some of the areas that I drove through, but in this situation, there's not that much. There is a lot of bikers, and Golden Gate Park is very biker friendly. So if you have a bike, bring it here, have fun, practice social distancing. Yeah, it's not as crowded as I thought it would be, actually, which is pretty nice. A lot of different areas, a lot of patches of people, but there's also a lot of spaces in between a lot of people. There's just not a lot of people, actually, in my opinion. So it's a beautiful place. Golden Gate Park is a beautiful place. next turn is coming up. And it's a right turn. A right turn. I think the name of the street is Transverse or something like that. Wrong turn. Oh, I hate doing these things. Okay, now we're back on right track again. I want to head towards 19. I don't know why I turned there. Where do we go from here? We can go straight. Okay, so on the left-hand side, we should be coming up to Stowe Lake in a little. Oh, actually, no, not left-hand, right-hand side. It should be coming up. Actually, it's not coming up that fast. I'm mistaken. It's actually not coming up that fast. We still need to make a turn first before we get there. But it should be coming up though, Stowe Lake. I just passed it. Let's turn back around. Yeah, I just passed Stowe Lake. There you go. Let's go up. Okay, so we're heading up to Stowe Lake right now. And Stowe Lake is actually on the right-hand side. Unfortunately, you can't see it because of all the trees and stuff like that. You would need to get out of the car and walk there. There's actually fishing as well as some boat paddling and stuff like that around Stowe Lake. Pretty popular with the locals. Not sure about the tourists, but locals definitely like Stowe Lake a lot. And here you go. This is Stowe Lake. It's actually very beautiful. There's a lot of people here too. Actually, no, not really. Just a few people feeding birds. Mostly the kids like coming here because of all the birds around. a beautiful little place. Parking is available here. They're allowing people to park here. The bathroom's open in this area as well, which is nice, so people don't have to pee all over the place. Okay, so we're gonna keep going around Stowe Lake. That's not smart, lady. I don't think you should be encouraging your kid to chase the geese in the middle of the street. I'll be honest with you, I've never been here. All the years I've lived in the city, I've never been to Stowe Lake. This is actually the first time I've ever driven around it. I mean, I've never walked it, but this is the first time I've ever been in this area. It's really nice, actually. It's very beautiful. Making a left turn soon, and that should take us all the way around to the Botanical Garden, and I think probably the Shakespeare Garden as well. Shakespeare Garden. Why did I think it was a park? We are in the park though. Okay, so left turn here. So we are at the entrance for the Botanical Garden, and the Botanical Garden is actually closed to the public. And on the left-hand side, we're not actually going to go through that, but on the left-hand side is the Young Museum, the California Academy of Science, as well as the Japanese Tea Garden. And then we have Shakespeare Garden coming up on the left-hand side, and it's actually a pretty nice little area. It's a very nice, peaceful area. Not a lot of people in that area though. I can't turn there. I'm supposed to be able to turn there to take me to the next area, but now it's been blocked off. I didn't know that was there. Let's see where I have to go. Hold on. Actually, I'm in the right area, so I didn't take the wrong turn or anything like that. Although I would like to take a turn here. And it's closed down. That's why. Oh well. I guess I'm gonna have to take another route. Yeah, they closed down. There was this area you're supposed to be able to drive through, but they closed that whole area down, so I'm gonna take another route. So right now, officially off the route. I'm gonna try to find another way back onto it. If not, we'll just pick up where the road comes out of Golden Gate Park and we'll pick up from there. But for now, I just gotta find my way there. Bear with me, okay? Okay, that didn't work. But okay. Okay, so we're back on the right route now. We just skipped over maybe about a 2-minute ride through the park, but we're back on track. This is officially still Golden Gate Park, though. Like I said, just missed maybe about a 2-minute drive through that area. we're making a right turn onto Stanyan. And this is actually the end of Golden Gate Park here. The next section of this road, this drive, will take you to Twin Peaks. And unfortunately, there's gonna be an issue with Twin Peaks because Twin Peaks is actually closed. So I'm gonna have to find another way around Twin Peaks. I think I kind of have an idea, but we'll see if that works or not. I'm gonna see if there's any possible way of getting up to Twin Peaks through the other route as well, because I know one route is closed for the lockdown, the shutdown. Okay. Now we care, and then we're gonna turn in a couple of blocks. This is actually the Haight-Ashbury area of the town, but it's not really the center of the Haight-Ashbury. It's kind of on the edge of it. We're on Haight Street right now. This is a cross for Haight Street. I actually used to live around this area myself back in when I just started working in downtown. Of course, I don't work there anymore, which is a great deal of relief for me as a person. Turning here, and we're actually going a little bit further away from the Haight-Ashbury now. UCSF is this area here, and that's the campus. There's a hospital here, so there's still a lot of people walking in and out, a lot of people wearing face covering, a lot of first responders around this area, so next street that I will be turning a left on is 7th Avenue. But we're still in the UCSF area. It's a really large campus. We do a lot of good work here. We're still in the campus area on the left-hand side. It's actually the dental wing of the campus. This is 6th Avenue. 7th is coming up soon. So we're gonna be going straight for a little while here, and the area we're driving through shortly will be the Laguna Honda area. It's a neighborhood in the city, right next to Twin Peaks, and it's actually pretty close to where I used to live. The last place I used to live in the city, in the Excelsior. But and honestly, the Laguna Honda, this area, I don't think it's really changed that much. Traffic is still fairly familiar to me. It's not overly trafficy most of the times. Only during the commuter hours will there be some resemblance of traffic. This is a Glen Park area, actually. The Glen Park bus... No, is this Glen Park? Laguna Honda... I thought this was Glen Park. No, this isn't, I guess. I'm losing it. Yeah, this is Glen Park. Yeah, this is the... No, this isn't the Glen Park. Glen Park is down another... What you call it? Next... it's a BART station. This is a Muni station here. Anyways, never mind what I just said. I'm just kind of jabbering to myself right now. Let's go check if the main road to the peak is open. If it's open, we'll take that route. If it's not, I have an alternate route that may take us up there, depending on how they approach this. So, making a turn onto Portal Drive right now. Twin Peaks is closed. Yeah, the road up Twin Peaks is closed, so I'm not even gonna pull up there. I'm just gonna make a U-turn here and I'll try the other route. But if it can't take me up to the summit or the peak, it'll at least take me to the base of where you should be coming down for the Scenic Drive, so we can pick up from that point on. But as far as Twin Peaks is concerned, it's open to biking. It's open to walking. There's actually a hiking trail up there, but it is not. It's not available for cars to drive through. So we're gonna take a second route and see if that one works. So far so good with most of the drive. Haven't really seen much obstacles except for certain places where you just can't get in. So you just drive past it. Twin Peaks is a little bit more difficult because you do have to find out where the exit is. And if you can't find the exit from the peak, then you're really not going to be able to pick up where you left off. I hope that makes sense. Turns coming up here. The Sutro Tower right in front. I'm not sure if you can see it. We'll see if we can get up Twin Peaks through this route instead. They closed it down. It's shut. Yeah, they've completely shut down Twin Peaks to cars, even on this side. But anyways, this is actually where we pick up, because this is where it comes down. And I just need to figure out which route I need to take. Just give me 1 second, and I will have this. Okay, yeah, we're on the right route right now, so let's go. down that trail here. As you can see with that sign. The next section that we'll be heading towards is the Castro neighborhood. And if you know anything about San Francisco, the Castro is the LGBT neighborhood, gay neighborhood. Because honestly, there's more gay people there than there are lesbians. Historically, anyways, according to what I've seen. On the map, there's something that talks about like rando museum, and I actually don't know what the rando museum's all about. Never really read up, but if I do find out, I'll put something about that on the screen. Hitting this park over here, that is Crown Heights Park. It's actually a really, really popular park for hiking and things like that. It's got a really nice view as well. We'll be heading on to 14th in a little bit, and once we turn onto 14th Avenue or 14th Street, that's actually where we're kind of in the Castro area. And this is 14th right now. And then we're just, this is pretty much the Castro area, as well as we're pretty close to Dolores as well, which is where Dolores Park is, and we'll be passing it in a little bit. The next turn is actually onto Dolores, and it's gonna be a right turn, but we're not here yet. This is Market Street, so we're crossing Market before we hit Dolores. And if you're looking for the iconic giant flag, rainbow flag, is actually on Market Street. It's just down, I think it's down that way. Dolores, and turning on to Dolores right now. Okay, so Dolores Park should be on the right-hand side, but it's not for another couple blocks, so there's a little bit. Dolores Park is actually more of a local place. Most people that live around this area go there. It's not really a tourist attraction, so not a lot of tourists at all. Mission High School is right next to us on the right hand side as well, and this is Dolores Park that's coming up right now. It's actually a really nice park, and I think I've seen it really packed before, and today is not that. Actually, it's pretty nice today, right now at least. But the forecast today is actually for a little bit of rain, so that's probably why people are just staying indoors today, because they probably don't want to get caught in the rain. Dolores Park is on the right hand side right now, and yeah, everybody's maintaining a lot of distance. There is, like I suspected, a little bit more people than at most of the places that I drove through. But yeah, there's definitely quite a few people in the park. So we're basically going straight for a little bit until we hit Cesar Chavez, and that's where we turn. We're actually kind of out in the outskirts of the city. We're heading towards the Bayshore area and also close to the Bayview, Hunters Point area as well. But we're not going to get close to there, even remotely close to there, because I don't think the trail would ever take you through the Hunters Point area, because it's just a really bad area of the city. I don't know how it is these days, but back when I was growing up, it was just not a very good area. I went to school close to there though, at one of the schools that were court-ordered to open because, you know, even bad neighborhoods need good schools, right? We're on Cesar Chavez right now, and so we are making a left turn onto Cesar Chavez. So this is the Mission, more like actually the Outer Mission. I would say it's more like the Outer Mission area. And these are just places that you won't find like many of our local politicians living in. But the Mission is actually not a bad area these days. There's a lot of art stuff, a lot of food, good food places to visit. The Outer Mission is where I used to live, close to, which is also a pretty nice area. I mean, it's just very ethnic. That's probably the best way to say it. It's very ethnic. Very ethnically Filipino, Asian, and Latino. And this is Mission Street, and this is this is Mission area. If you turn this way to your right, you're actually going into proper Mission. Left-hand turn takes you into the Outer Mission, and eventually you keep driving down, you're going to hit Daly City. This is also where the 14 bus line drives. That's the route for the 14 bus line. Area that we're going through right now is really not the most fascinating area. It's just a neighborhood, and it's not really the expensive part of town either, even though some of these houses are actually in the millions. It's just weird. This is just San Francisco for you though. But yeah, so we're hitting Bayshore Boulevard Bayshore Boulevard right now. And we're going to keep going straight through. This is the 101 is right above us. It's also 101 is part of also Highway 1, which eventually flows into Pacific Coast Highway. Pacific Coast Highway to the south, to the north, is actually the Coast Highway. That's something that most people don't usually check out, but it's actually a really nice coastline going up that way. I should probably do something like this for that too. Click on the like if you want me to do something like that. And the next turn that we'll be taking will be onto Indiana Street, I think. And that should take us into the Embarcadero area. But before we get to the Embarcadero, we're actually going to get past the AT&T park, which is where the Giants play. I think. Yeah, the Giants still play there. And also the waterfront is pretty nice. But this is Pennsylvania. Next block it should be Indiana. And it is. This is all local street that no self-respecting tourist would ever drive on. But this is actually a route that a lot of locals take from the Bayshore area into downtown. I used to actually drive this route myself when I used to work in downtown. And then we're actually gonna snake right into the freeway because that's just where it leads. And this is the only part of the drive that actually goes onto the freeway. This actually did not exist before. It only happened this way because of the fact that they wanted to extend out into this new edition of the city. And that's actually the newest area. It's actually probably the worst looking as well. But yeah, this snakes onto the freeway, onto the 280, and then we'll bring you directly onto King Street and the Embarcadero area. Normally this freeway is actually really busy because once you get off there's actually stoplights, and so the braking from the stoplight actually causes a lot of backup into this freeway. But now there's just no traffic whatsoever. This brings back a lot of memory driving through here. Really strange. It's really weird driving here again. Okay, we're going on to King Street right now, and this is the Embarcadero, the beginning of the Embarcadero area. It's also where if you keep on going down this street, you're gonna hit Pier 39, and then eventually you're gonna hit the Fisherman's Wharf. And then coming right up on the next block, not this one, but the following block, is gonna be AT&T Park. Used to be called Oracle Park. I don't know if it's Oracle Park or it's AT&T. Oh, I guess it's Oracle Park. It's not AT&T Park anymore. You know what? They keep changing the name of this place like so many times. It's confusing to me, but it's a really nice little area. It's a nice ballpark. And you can see Willie Mays Jr. right up there, statue of him. And normally on a weekday, especially now at like 1 o'clock afternoon, there's a lot of traffic on here, on this road. But as you can see, this is no normal day. It's not normal times here anymore. I guess Guns N' Roses is gonna be here August 5th. Hopefully that's still gonna be on. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if they cancel it though. So we're getting to the piers, and on this side of the piers, everything is even number. So it ends at Pier 40 and it goes all the way up to Pier 2. On the other side of there is all the odd numbers. So it goes from Pier 1 after the ferry building, from Pier 1 all the way down to Pier 39. And then you hit Fisherman's Wharf. So there's the Oakland Bay Bridge. We'll be crossing that in a little bit. And right underneath the Golden Gate Bridge, the Bay Bridge, there's a little hut right there. It's called Red's Java House. It sells coffee, and during lunchtime, back at least when I remember, it used to sell a hot dog and a beer for lunch. And I think it was like really ridiculously cheap, like $4 or $5 or something like that. But I don't think it's that price anymore. But yeah, we used to go there during lunch when I used to work in downtown for those, you know, those respectable corporations that, you know, when you go out you can actually have alcohol during your meals. Yeah, we did that. Red's Java right there. It's still open today. Yep, it's open for coffee as well as hot dog and beer. And we're at Pier 28 right now. And then this is the Embarcadero. Normally, this would be a good place to get out and then take a look at the bridge. There's some artwork that usually is along the Embarcadero, along the waterfront. And then a little bit further down, we have the ferry building, and that's where the commuters come in from Marin and some of the other areas that are across the bay, and they take the ferry in. The signs are still here for the 49 mile. I think it goes down a little bit further, but I think at some point I gotta turn here because yeah, I do have to turn in a little bit. It takes you into the financial district. But we're going to cross the ferry building first before I make a turn around and head towards the Bay Bridge. And if you're following the signs will actually bring you right back to City Hall, Civic Center. But I'm not doing that route. I'm actually going the old route, which eventually takes you onto the Bay Bridge and then onto Treasure Island. And the reason why Treasure Island was taken off of off of the route is because after the expo had ended, they turned over Treasure Island over to the Navy. And I think this is where I'm going to turn around and go on to the Bay Bridge. But yeah, so that's basically what happened is they turned over Treasure Island to the Navy, and the Navy had a base there all the way up until I think the early or the mid 90s. And there wasn't anybody that lived there except for naval personnel, Navy sailors and officers and stuff like that. And I actually went to school on Treasure Island. There's an elementary school there, and I went there along with a lot of the military brats, the Navy brats, which was actually a pretty neat experience. It's kind of interesting being in San Francisco and being in a school, in a classroom where you're like, for the longest time, you were the only Asian person there in that classroom. So, but that's the military for you though. But I mean, honestly, the military was good for the city as well. Brought in a lot of contractors and things like that. So brought a lot of economic stimulus to the city. but since I think it was during Clinton's administration, he closed down a lot of bases, and one of the bases that he closed down was Treasure Island. I was actually kind of upset when they did that, because there's a nostalgia factor to that, and I don't know if I'm able to drive through. Actually, if I'm able to drive onto Treasure Island, I'll probably drive through it. Haven't been there in decades. But this is a totally different route. I'm not going through downtown. I've been through downtown already. This is basically downtown anyways. And so there's a card up there if you want to see how downtown looks these days. But I'm not going through there. I'm just gonna head straight onto the Bay Bridge right now, and then across the Bay Bridge onto Treasure Island. And if I could get onto the island, I don't know if they'll allow people. I think there's a toll you gotta pay, which is fine. But if I can't get on, then I'll just turn around and end it there. But if I can, then maybe we get to see my old school, my old elementary school. I went there from the 3rd grade until the 5th grade. And just to let you know, I went most of my high school experience, most of my primary school experience has been in San Francisco. I basically grew up in the city, even though I came as a boat person. Oh, just a point of interest here. Google is actually located in this building. That's their San Francisco headquarters. And you can see the sign coming up, the Google sign. There's actually quite a few large high-tech companies that are streamed out throughout the Bay Area, whether it's in San Mateo, Fremont, Oakland, San Francisco. They're just all around. And you'd be surprised what's located in these areas. We're heading on to the on-ramp for the Bay Bridge. We're right now at about, we're a little bit past 49 miles. We're at about 50 something right now. Actually, we're pretty close to the 49 mile mark at this point. I think we're at about 43 or 44 miles. But if I had gone through the whole downtown area, I think that would have probably pushed it. But at this time, at this point, we're at about 3 hours into this drive. Normally it takes 4 hours, so it's actually, you know, with less traffic, it's definitely a little bit more enjoyable. I hope you guys did enjoy it, and if you do enjoy it, please slap a like and share. And we're now on the Bay Bridge, and there's always some kind of work done on the maintenance work done on the bridge, whether it's on the top deck or the bottom deck, or whether it's on the, you know, San Francisco side of the span or the Oakland side of the span. There's always some kind of work done on the Bay Bridge. I don't think there's ever a single time I've driven on the Bay Bridge where there isn't any like safety cones put out because there's something going on. There's some work being done on it. Same thing with the Golden Gate Bridge as well. They're constantly doing something, either painting or just doing, you know, maintenance work. It takes a lot to keep this going. I'm at about 10% battery life right now, so the battery's probably gonna die before I get to the off ramp. Hopefully not, but I'm down to 10% right now, so I probably need to switch it out immediately after I get off. Exiting right now. Okay, I'm just gonna switch out the batteries real quickly. That was an interesting thing right there. Just getting off the off ramp and driving through there brought back some really weird memories. I mean, I haven't seen this site of San Francisco skyline in decades. It's pretty freaking amazing. Holy shit! Oh my god! Wow! They've done so much to it. They've actually put. Wow, this is strange. Wow, this is really, really strange how they. Whew, wow, it's barely recognizable except for that building over there. Oh my gosh. Yeah, they've changed a lot. There used to be a gate right up here where people, there was a sentry over here that kept people from being able to drive in to the island. But man, this is different. You know what? Let's just end this here because I feel like Treasure Island, I want to visit because I want to. Oh man, these sculptures actually don't belong here. They belong somewhere else. They must have moved it here. Wow, I haven't seen these in a long time. It's so strange being out here. I feel like I need to get out and actually walk around and see this place, you know? So I'm just gonna leave this for another time. Yeah, so this is Treasure Island, and this is basically the end of the trail here for the Scenic Drive, the 49-mile Scenic Drive. Yeah, I think this is it. This is it. And I hope you enjoyed this ride.